Hey there, millennials. Welcome back to another Ask a Recruiter. I'm super excited that you're here. I have a super awesome training today, and it is called How Do I Know If This Is My Dream Job, right? Or rather, that is a question. And so I have a lot of people who are they're all about making sure that they land their dream job. They know that's what they want. They want fulfillment. They want to be happy. They want to be successful. They're ambitious and they have these big goals for them, right? Themselves. And so they want to make sure that the position that they're considering or their next step is really really the best step for them. They don't want to make a misstep. They don't want to take a wrong position that's really going to help that hold them back. Is not going to help get them to where they want to be. And so they want to know, or hopefully you do too as well, what do I need to be looking at when I'm considering my dream job, and how will I really know that this is the job for me? And so sometimes, unfortunately, that also has to deal with if you accepted a position that you thought was going to be great, and then you didn't like the culture, you didn't like the people that you were working with, or you felt like you were lied to. That happens to so many people. And so I want you to take a moment to, again, everything is typically about clarity and understanding what you want and desire out of your career. And so I want you to be very mindful about what you want and what you envision, because then you'll be able to make sure that there is an alignment there, okay? So let's get started. I want to tell you what these are, and then I also want to kind of tell about a little bit about my story, right? So I'll first start off with some of the key things that you should really consider when looking at a job and trying to just determine if it's for you, right? So one of the first things is that you want to consider growth opportunities. So you want to look at this company or this position, department, and find out what is available for you in terms of professional development. Do they do training? Are they going to promote you? Is there any movement for growth, right? So, and that's not just like in terms of title sometimes or promotions, right? That just could be learning new skill sets. And you want to make sure that there's not a period in time where you're going to have a company that's going to stunt your growth, that's not going to support you in your own goals for professional development, whether it's just from selfishness or not having a budget or not being available to you to really invest in you the way that you need, right? There are so many employers out there, and you can be picky about what you want and what you desire in terms of growth opportunities, okay? So that's key number one. Are there great growth opportunities for you in this role, company, position, whatever you want to call it? The next one is joy, right? And joy comes in a lot of different things, comes in a lot of different packages, is what I should say. Joy might be really liking your coworkers. Joy might be really loving the mission and the vision of the company. Joy might be really loving your manager or your boss, the leadership of that company. And joy is certainly always, always, always going to be whether or not you really love your job and what you do on a day-to-day basis, right? We never want to love all the things around us but hate what we do on a daily basis. So think about all of those things about whether this job will give you joy. Before you're accepting a position, really dig in with some of those questions after your interview and really figure out like is this going to really align with what I feel is joyful in my career, in my life? Because when we're excited at work, we are productive, we are innovative, we are creative, we are forward thinking, we are motivated and excited about the future. And when we go home at the end of the day, we carry that same energy with us to work on things that are important to us outside of work. Cool? Cool. All right, 3 is stretch, right? So I see a lot of people kind of just hop around to positions that are just very similar to the things that they've already had and don't allow them to stretch a little bit. And so what does stretch mean? It means that you're in a position that challenges you, right? That asks you to do more than you've done before, to learn more, to figure out something new, something that really helps you stretch your skill set, your abilities, your knowledge so that you can continue to sharpen your skills as a professional. Again, looking at the long term in terms of where you want to be, right? You need to always be stretched in some capacity to learn more, to be uncomfortable, right? To grow. That's just something in life, but definitely for work. So if you are somebody that desires to be successful, is ambitious, then you need to make sure that somewhere in this position, it's a little bit scary to you, right? Yes. Okay, the last one is alignment. And I think some people think about really good opportunities, really good jobs, and they're really excited about it, but then they forget about the alignment piece. And it does this job, the qualifications, no matter how good the compensation is, no matter how great the company is, does it really align with who you are as a person, right? And values? Does it align with what you want to do on a daily basis? And also, does it align with your long-term goals, right? So that kind of has to do with growth opportunities too, right? Like, will this position give me what I need to have to get to the next stage in my career, whatever that might be? Okay, so does that job fit you? So here we go. Here are all the key parts, once again, of making sure that your dream job is for you. So 1, growth opportunities. 2, joy. 3, stretch. And 4, alignment. So if you have all 4 of those things, you should really be in a good place in terms of whether or not this job is your dream job, and will you really consider it your dream job, like when you get in it, because that's a whole other story, right? And so we can't always account for everything, but if we are mindful of these things and we have clarity of those things going in, it's a lot more. My watch didn't understand that. Okay, but yeah, if you can figure out. But yes, what I'm saying is if you can figure out what those things are, if you can understand how that aligns with you and what you want, you are going to be in a much better place to find your dream job and not get duped into a job that is not really for you. All right. I was telling you a little bit about my story, right? And so I of course came from a company that when I first began was absolutely my dream job. I was an intern, and then I went to full time, and I loved everyone that I worked with. I loved every piece of what I did. I loved talking to all of the different employees. I absolutely loved HR and everything that was in that position. And slowly, so much of the company began to change, and it wasn't what I would consider for me, right? And so I tell people that positions are either for you or they are not for you. And sometimes you grow out of positions, or sometimes companies grow out of you in terms of what they've become, who they are, what they're doing, and that is absolutely okay. And so what I used to consider my dream job was no longer my dream job, and I was ready to transition. And so when I was out there looking, I'm not telling you this to just say that I did it. I am telling you this because there are jobs that are not for you, right? And so in my most recent job search, there were plenty of positions that I didn't, I declined to interview. I didn't follow up because I wasn't interested. And quite frankly, I didn't care if they followed up with me because I knew that position wasn't for me. It wasn't something that I wanted or I saw myself in, or that whatever the level was or the responsibilities just didn't align with me, or kind of the creative freedom a lot of the time is something that's important for me in my job. And so I was very picky in my job search. I did not apply for any and all positions. I applied for things that I was very excited about, things that I really wanted to do. And so now in my current role, October, I need to remember this video will be out there forever, but in October of 2019, I transitioned in what I believe at the time and still believe today is my dream job. I absolutely love this role. I love working with everybody that I work with. I have really great growth opportunities in terms of opportunities for advancement, professional development. I get great joy at work. I love talking and working with the people that I work with. I'm also stretched. I work with executives and just people that have really important jobs that I just can't even imagine all of the things that go into that. And that's super exciting in terms of me interacting with these professionals and kind of growing myself professionally, but also just getting exposure to all of the different things that happen at the size of the organization that I am in. And the last thing is alignment. It absolutely is still in human resources. It's recruitment, it's executive recruitment and consulting, and it's in exact alignment with the things that I love to do. I'm able to be creative, I'm able to be strategic, I'm able to think out and plan, and I'm able to connect with professionals in a deep, meaningful way. And so all of those things are really important for what I wanted in my dream job, right? And so it made total sense to accept that offer. And yeah, just be my best self at work. So those are all the things that I want you to think about as you create your journey along the path of what is your dream job, your dream career path, your path to success. Those are all things that I want you to think about, and those things are true for me too. They have always been, they will always be as I move through my career, life and business, right? All of those things. And so I really want to encourage you to below in the comments to just let me know, like, what do you know is true about what you need out of your dream job? Like, what kind of growth opportunities do you want? What do you expect? What do you expect out of your coworkers and people that you work with? What is something that'll be a stretch for you in your career to learn as you grow and develop? And really, how does that align with what you want in terms of your responsibilities and duties? Let me know in the comments. I really want to know. I've shared my story with you, and so I'd absolutely love to learn more about you. And if you're here and you're like, okay, but that sounds great, Mercedes. That's always what I say. But okay, great. That sounds great, Mercedes. But I don't know how to really get clarity around that. I don't know the questions to ask myself. I don't know the strategy to approach that. Let me know. I'd really love to schedule a career coaching consultation with you so we can kind of talk about those things and figure out the next step to really define what that might look like, and how to really avoid getting into a position that's not really for you, that's not really what you want, and that doesn't support you long term in terms of growth and development and your ideal success in your career path. So that's all I got for today's Ask a Recruiter. I will see you next time. Bye.